stick out to you about the way Taylor Jenkins has these guys playing, especially lately with Ja out?
That question is easily answered by any of us.
Sorry about that.
You know, that's a fine. Players get fined for that. Should we give him a break? We'll give him a break.
You can find him. Not much to give.
There's nothing there. Taylor has been spectacular in every facet of the game. You know, you take a great player out like Ja Morant, and they do as well or better. Well, that says a lot about the system that the coaches developed, the character of the players, the discipline that's been instilled, the discipline that's been accepted, the consistency of the way they play night after night after night. He's been spectacular.
Do you remember your first impressions of Taylor all those years ago when he was getting started?
You know, dry, conservative, quiet, unassuming, doesn't need a camera, doesn't want to hear any crap, doesn't suffer fools very well, dedicated, and boom, on it from day one. That's who he was, and that's who he is. He smiles more now, but he's something else.
I don't know what more can be said about DeJounte, but he just kind of continues to impress with his, his leadership and the way he's able to kind of, lead this team. I feel like everyone just sort of follows him and
Right.
lead on the court.
Yeah, he's got a tough job. He's got he's young himself, but he's got a lot younger guys around him that are just learning about what discipline is and what it's like to play with the big boys night after night after night, the physicality, all that sort of thing. And through all those ups and downs, he's supported them. He's done his job consistently, been patient with them, kind of the way Timmy was patient with guys that we'd bring in every year. So he deserves a lot of credit for that.
Coach, have you noticed a change in the effort level or focus or intensity of your team as you kind of approach these last 7 games here?
No, they've played pretty much the same way all year. I mean, we've had some really good wins against some really good teams earlier in the year also, and then we'd be inconsistent for a few games, what you might expect from a team in a growth stage like that. So they've been pretty consistent, a little bit up and down, but learning more and more, every week, every month. So.
Obviously, Primo's the youngest kid in the league, but what are you seeing from him defensively lately, and how do you see him growing in that area?
Well, we've been emphasizing that since the day he got here more than his offense, because that's just a natural tendency for players to think about offense way more than defense. We get that, but he's taken it to heart, and he's one of our better on-ball defenders. Does a great job staying in front of people, and he's figured out the physicality of the game. So he's a good example for a young kid understanding the important part of the game that makes you an elite team, and that's being a good defensive team.